is a natural dietary supplement extract from tropical sorghum biocolor, researched, refined and confirmed as a powerful antioxidant. It will increase your blood to required levels and boost your immune system rapidly. Jobelyn improves the fertility rate in both men and women. Jobelyn protects and provides energy for mother and child all through pregnancy and at childbirth. Jobelyn purifies your blood. It deters and effectively controls chronic heart diseases and blood-related conditions like hypertension, arthritis, diabetes, sickle-cell anemia, stroke, and even HIV and AIDS. Daily intake of Jobelyn protects the body from infections and guarantees a healthy and happy family. Jobelyn has no known adverse effects. Produced by Health Forever Products Limited, Dikpeolu Street off Obafemi Awolowo Way, Ikeja, Lagos, Nigeria. Available in sachets and capsules for adults and syrup for children in all leading pharmaceuticals nationwide. Consult your physician for prescription.
30 capsule Jobelyn now comes in a new pack.
Live healthy. Live Jobelyn.
It shall be a spectacular journey for 200 million sperm cells that hitherto had been stored in the male's seminal vesicles, found hanging behind the prostate gland. The prostate gland provides most of the sugar-rich fluid the spermatozoa flows in before ejaculation into the vagina on their journey to pierce and fertilize the female eggs. Nature intentionally placed some obstacles in the path of these spermatozoa to permit only the most potent to finally get to the fertilization site. Many other growths within the uterus and fallopian tubes could also hinder progress of the spermatozoa. How do these tiny swimming cells find their way to the eggs, fertilize them, and then find their way back into the uterus? The fertilized egg, which has started multiplying even when it's still in the fallopian tube, is propelled by the rapidly moving cilia found within the fallopian tube until it finally drops into the uterine cavity, where it will stay to germinate and grow first into an embryo, then into a fetus. But there appears to be many constraints in this area of development.
The question often asked is very simple. They say, how does this spermatozoa find their way from the vagina, through the mucus, through the fallopian tube, and end up directly in front of the ovum, which they penetrate after acceleration? It's very simple. It looks like a big miracle, but this is accomplished by a process called chemotaxis. That is, the chemical substances that attract the sperm cell towards the egg. It's the same thing, it's something similar like the root of a plant finding itself down into the soil and tracing its direction towards water. Now, after fertilizing the egg, the suction in the fallopian tube sucks in the now fertilized egg back through the fallopian tube, and it is dumped into the uterine cavity.
The fertilized seed is implanted into the soil of the womb, and we expect that in all cases, this bundle of thousands of cells will develop into a bouncing baby. But alas, in quite a handful of cases, something goes wrong somewhere along the line. In some cases, nature terminates the pregnancy, and sometimes the damage remains within the newborn as the so-called congenital abnormality. Things like cleft lips and palates, cancer of the baby's kidney, incomplete differentiation like Siamese twins, cataract, etc.
Like I said, the fertilized egg is sucked by the ciliar action. The vacuum suction effect of the cilia in the fallopian tube sucks in this egg back into the fallopian tube, direction back into the uterus. And when it gets into the uterus, it dumps this fertilized egg onto the surface of this uterus, where this fertilized egg will become embedded and it will start to multiply and grow into the embryo. However, as this fertilized egg goes backwards towards the uterus along the fallopian tube, it starts to multiply very fast. This is called fast mitosis, and it develops into a multicellular blob called the blastocyte. There is also fast generation of ATP energy during this multiplication. And as you have been aware from all my previous lectures, I have said time and time again that whenever there is fast multiplication of cells, there is a fast generation of that waste product called free oxygen radicals. And this large quantity of free oxygen radical may cause genetic mutation, genetic aberration, which may distort and cause problem in the developing blastocyte. That is why it is very important to consume a lot of antioxidants which will help to neutralize these free oxygen radicals. You can consume fruits, you can consume a lot of vegetables that contain antioxidants, but I say it's always better still to take a lot of antioxidants like Jobelyn. In nature, only 25 to 30% of these blastocytes finally get to grow and form the embryo. If you're successful, you're one of the 25%. But quite often, when it's not successful, it means another trial.
Antioxidants are particularly useful during pregnancy, boosting energy level, hemoglobin level, and increase the resistance of CD4 cells, which in turn will improve immune system of the pregnant women, which is usually low at this point in time.
Normally, it is one of the beliefs accepted in the medical world that untested medicines or medicines that have not gone through tough clinical trials should not be given, especially to women in the first trimester. I will confess to you that we have not had the so-called standard clinical trials as far as pregnant women are concerned. But it will be interesting to mention to you, listeners, dear listeners, that the natives in southwestern Nigeria have been using Jobelyn for pregnant women through generations. In fact, one of the first indications for the use of Jobelyn had always been in pregnant women who cannot eat well, who are very weak, and who have not been able to perform well during their pregnancy. They claim that for hundreds of years, they have always been on Jobelyn, and they have really never mentioned any adverse side effects in such women. I have given Jobelyn to women, especially the antenatal cases, for over 7 years, and I have carefully observed and watched, looked out for any of these side effects. It is a confirmed fact, for example, that during pregnancy, a lot of free oxygen radical is generated because of the large quantity of energy required for the multiplication of cells. And it is reduction of these free oxygen radicals by antioxidants that is desirable, and that is likely to prevent congenital anomalies.